Good morning and welcome again to Real Estate Matters on Super FM 92.7. I am your host, King Ray Realtor, and welcome to today's episode. So there's been a lot going on in Lagos especially, and I know last week we had a guest from the Agege local government where we had a lot of call-ins and engagements. And today we're still on the topic with regards to demolition and growth and gentrification of Lagos. I think you can term that. And we are open to calls where you can call in on our WhatsApp number 070-569-00927 or 080-509-20927. 080-250-27711 or 080-297-88003. Before we dive into today's topic, I think we'll just touch base on some of the news or headlines that have been going on in real estate in Nigeria. Demolition. Group accuses demolition. That's the topic. Group accuses Lagos task force of demanding ₦1 million from Uroshoki residents. Justice and Empowerment Initiatives has accused the Lagos State Task Force of demanding ₦1 million from residents of Uroshoki communities whose houses were slated for demolition, allegedly promising to spare the structures if the money is paid. Now that is very, very scandalous and hot news coming from that area.
Absolutely. So that your house is not demolished, you have to pay ₦1 million.
Honestly,
there's always when there's a rumor, there's always a tendency for it to be. There's a little bit of truth there. So how did this come out?
So I think it's maybe one person's experience or a few people's experiences. But for it to exist, it means that something might have happened. And not just for it to exist, for it to come up on the news source that we have, which is a reliable news source, I think it's something that would have happened to a few people for them to complain and escalate.
And still the demolition was done to their houses still?
No. So it's still ongoing in that area. And a group is just accusing and saying, oh, this is what came up, where some of us were offered this, I don't know.
Amount of money? ₦1 million.
We're offered this opportunity to protect our investments at the cost of ₦1 million each and all that. And I believe it's still being investigated by Lagos State. I like this. Honestly, I like the fact that more Nigerians are calling out people on media, and that is what social media, that's why you find some countries, they try to suppress access to social media and content, because these kind of things is where people blow the whistle. Because, in Nigeria, you might not be able to call the police to blow the whistle. So going on social media and calling out things like, oh, this is what happened to me, this is what is now for the law enforcement to investigate, or the government to investigate such issues to find out how authentic
it is,
the information,
and whether people have been asked to pay that amount of money,
and why such a thing is even
happening in the first place.
It means that either they are going to be scammed, whereby demolition will still happen, or there really is some sort of loop space somewhere where people are getting away with it. And that news is very heartbreaking in the fact that, that such a proposal exists is very sad. It means that the growth that we're all thinking is happening here might not be the actual situation. It might just be a money-making adventure. And then it's also good in the sense that that's the whistleblowing factor. Is the good part that I'm talking about, that more and more Nigerians are calling out corruption when they see it, and I think that's something a lot of us should be a part of. Then there is NIESV, that's NIESV, the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers, recently inducted about 539 new members, urging them to uphold the highest professional standard in the industry. The president and the chairman of the Council of the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers, Mr. Welcome back to Real Estate Matters, and I am still King Ray Realtor. On the show, we had a few call-ins, but we're on a break, so please, you can call back on our phone lines, which are very open: 080-509-20927, 080-250-27711, or 080-297-88003. Okay, Okay, so yes, we're going to go into the conversation on the issues with the Urushoki demolition properties, and then we're also going to touch base on how to protect your investment in real estate. And then for those of us most of us who are tenants, right, especially with the new year that's coming, some people are moving, they're looking for new places to go to. How do you check? Because sometimes, yes, it might not be your property, you're not the owner of the property, but you have your family there. The urgency of having to move from one place to the other, and it's not just Urushoki that they are demolishing. They have properties in along the Lekki area that
corridor that also have been demolished. So what do you look out for when you're trying to get a new apartment, or even buy a land, or even get a property for yourself and your family?
Exactly. What do you look out for? What are you conscious? What should you be alert about when you want to do any of that? And I think that's a question that a lot of Nigerians are asking. And then, of course, there's also the fact that, it's Dirty December month, and, property owners want to see how they can maximize and get some benefits, as a lot of people are coming back into Nigeria for the holidays. Yeah. Right? How they can benefit and connect to that. We're still receiving calls, of course. So we're going to go over some of the other news, real estate news headlines that we did not touch on the last time. So Lagos is set to halt Admiralty Way to Ajah Jubilee Bridge rehabilitation on December 4th. I think that has already happened. The Lagos State government has announced that the contractors handling the rehabilitation of the Etiosa Lekki Ekpe Expressway from Admiralty Way Junction to Ajah Jubilee Bridge will vacate the site, or have vacated the site as of Thursday, December 4th, 2025, and they are to resume the second phase by mid-January in 2026. Now, the temporary halt is aimed at easing traffic congestion, as a lot of people in that area have been experiencing severe traffic because of the work that has been going on. I know someone gave me a report about having been in, I think I was going yesterday, about having been in traffic if she leaves her home anytime later than 7, that she's in traffic for up to 2 hours.
You see why these are the things that you need to actually put into consideration. Proximity to work, proximity to everywhere. Is there a store that you can easily just come out of your house to purchase, especially when you're trying to get a property.
Especially when you're trying to get,
or even move to a particular house, whatever location it is.
And in real estate, location matters.
Yes, it does.
Location.
You see why I like Bagada? Yeah. Exit to everywhere. I'm sorry.
Some locations are good.
Some locations are awesome.
And then, that's the thing. Some locations are good, but then the value appreciates. So how much rent are you going? Because that's the thing.
Because over time, after 1-2 years, there will be an increase.
There will be an increase. Because there's high demand. Where there's high demand for real estate, there's going to be it's going to reflect in the cost of rent, of purchase, and in real estate in that area.
More so, especially when the government now does something in that area, maybe repair a particular road, or just does some infrastructure here or there, or maybe somebody buys a huge plot of land and builds like a big store. Exactly. Everybody begins to trample there, and it just
affects.
Appreciates.
It's just like when people keep talking about investing in the Ekpe axis because of the airports that's
going to happen. We don't know how long that's going to take, but it's okay.
And the refinery. Yeah. I mean, see, I know that some dreams, some visions take a bit longer to materialize, but they do happen. And that's the whole point of real estate. That's the joy of real estate, because the earlier you invest in some of those properties, the better it is by the time they start to yield what you're expecting. I mean,
let's even double back on this Urushoki conversation, because I know that quite a number of people out there have been affected by this, or maybe you don't want to be affected by it, because you know what they say, experience is the best teacher, but sometimes you need to look at other people's experiences
and see how you can protect
from that, and protect yourself. So
and that's the negative part of this whole demolition, because now, how does this affect the value of real estate within Urushoki? Because before now, it was this proximity that you mentioned. Gagada, people are coming in from that area. They know that it's affordable. It's easy to access the island from it. But now, with all this demolition, a lot of people are now going to be like, oh, why would I rent space in this place? Right. When this could happen to my property, and then me and my family have to start looking for where to move to within a short notice of time. So yes, how can we protect ourselves?
I have heard somebody say that you need to get certificate of occupancy when you want to buy
Yes.
a property
Yes.
out of, I mean, getting it from anyone, because that's one of the things, is the most important proof of land ownership under the state law.
It is, which is one of the things that's making this whole situation a lot messy, because some property owners
don't have C of O's.
Some of them claim that they have certificate of ownership, and some of them claim that some of them don't actually have. Right? Some of them have been in the buildings long before some of these policies were put in place and were being enforced. So they've been there since, like, one lady, one widow that was saying, oh, this is what her husband left to her. And I don't, some people were asking, okay, what about your documents? What are the documents that you have? And she's screaming, look, he just passed away. He just left me this asset.
Yeah.
And now it's being demolished. How am I going to feed my children? How am I going to feed my family? Right? So yes, but still, anyways, as someone who is investing in property, you should ask about
for your C of O.
When you're working with your real estate agent or your realtor, those are usually the questions that your realtor will be able to answer, because your realtor or your real estate agent would have engaged the property owner, right? And they would have asked for those things from the onset.
Do they still give C of O's, like, as a stance in Nigeria, in Lagos precisely?
Yes, of course.
So you can do your processes, because I know that there's some people that when they go to the office, C of O is not available, and I'm like, how is C of O not available in a country where, I mean, land, people can purchase lands, and not all lands are owned by the government. It's the truth.
It is available. All right. Fine. When you're changing ownership from one owner to the other, some people, the name documentation and the processing does take time. But there's always going to be your document for the existing, maybe the previous owner that you can acquire, or you can look at to verify the property. To say, okay, this has already been provided, and maybe this is the time that I have, this is the expiration dates and all that. So yes, that is available. Oh, there's one other thing that we can talk about. The Eco Atlantic leads Lagos luxury residential sales with about 59.5% growth. So I know during one of our episodes, someone had mentioned the fact that, some places are so expensive. I think someone had called. Oh, we have a call. Do you hold on? Hello. Good morning. Good morning, and welcome to Real Estate Matters. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Taiwo from Shomolu.
Hello, Taiwo from Shomolu.
Okay, so I want to ask, the demolition they're doing at Owo.
Yes.
What is the plan? What are they doing there exactly? And there is this rumor we are hearing that it will be Oni of the Fair that owns that place. So who is it the owner? Is it that they are trying to do something? And also, I won on the show last week. I've not received my voucher.
Did you send messages to the number that was provided?
Yes, I sent message.
Okay, we'll look into it. Thank you so much, Taiwo, for calling in on the show.
Taiwo, for calling in. We have another caller. Hello. Oh, we lost that call. Okay. So Taiwo,
you see that question that Taiwo asked is very
that
valid.
was the plan.
Like, what exactly? Why did you move people out of there? Because they've been saying that they're like, some people have been there for 20, 30, 50 years, and they've been living there in peace and harmony. And one minute you come and say, oh, we're about to demolish because it does not align with this or that. So what exactly do you want to use that space for?
What most of us, or what the information that we have, is that there's supposed to be a renovation, and then also some of those properties, the
quality,
the quality of it, the state of it is something that's deteriorating. Right.
And one day we could just hear that maybe one building literally collapsed, and that's not what we want.
And then when you're coming in from the mainland, when you're coming into the island, that's one of the places that you see on the sides as you're coming in, and it's part of I think we had said
it's not aesthetically pleasing.
No, it's not. And Lagos is
Lagos is
the face of
the
of
smell
Nigeria.
that Ikeja gives when you come into Lagos.
One problem at a time.
Wait.
One problem at a time.
I understand you, but let's take this quick call.
Hello. Good morning.
Do call us back 0805092097. That is the number to call.
We have another call. Hello, your name and where you're calling from? Hello.
Yeah, you have Chibike.
Okay, hello Chibike. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from my papa.
Okay, Chibuke from Papa, how do you want to
No.
join today's conversation?
I really want to know, like, when you see the Lagos State, the way they demolish, they are always quick to demolish buildings, but they don't really have any alternative for the people that are demolishing their properties. It's only in Lagos State that you see they are just quick to demolish people's houses just to build maybe roads and gutters and spend millions of naira and all that. But they don't have plans for the masses, and that's so sad. So I really want to know, like, how do we even educate some of these government officials to know that you
On
have to
other
even put the
ways to
people
sort
first.
the problem.
Yes, you have to put the people first before even putting
True.
the roads.
There needs to be a lot more
that's it.
empathy. True.
Yeah, you said we should send our text message to the number provided earlier. Right?
Yes. I will provide the number again before the end of the show. You just send a text
Okay.
message to that number. All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Chibuke from Papa.
Welcome.
So this question that a lot of people are calling to ask is something that a lot of us have. We've had very bad experiences with demolition of places and construction of new works, which is why I know during one of our episodes we have talked about when they put up new projects in those areas, some of those new projects are so unaffordable. The pricing of those properties are so unaffordable. Even if they were affordable at some point, at another point someone else would have purchased it and
resell. Yes, of course,
increase the
an
price.
increase.
Even the cost of rent in those places. I mean, examples were given like the Tejo Show Marketplace, where there was a demolition, a reconstruction. It was beautiful construction, but now the people who need to sell in those places cannot afford to be in those places. We have another call. Hello, good morning. This is Real Estate Matters.
Hello, good morning. This is Antonia from Ojo.
Hello, Antonia from Ojo. How do you want to join our conversation today, Antonia from Ojo?
Okay, great. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
This demolition of a thing, I heard allegedly when you give 1 million,
Yes.
they will spare the building, right?
They will save the building for you. That means you will not
So
be.
it won't be demolished.
It will not be demolished. Okay. Please, there's this railway that, I don't know, I will just say from Yaba down to Ilupeju.
Yes.
So it leads to I don't know what area I will call that, but when you start walking from Yaba down to going to Fadi, that's where the railway leads to. So there are these buildings that are close to the railway. They've already marked them, but they have refused to demolish those buildings. And when I asked some owners of those buildings, because I used to visit the area, they will say there's no need, that they have finished completing the rail things, as in the bridges and all of that. And it's not going to affect the building. But that place is very risky.
Yes.
Just, I don't know how many meters to the railway. So I want to know, do this owner of the building, do they still pay this 1 million to trust people to leave their building not to be
Antonia Homojo, that 1 million is still on debate, and I believe it's still being investigated as to how authentic that information is.
Secondly, we not see our voucher last week.
I'm sure the vouchers will be released to everybody. We will look into it and make sure that everybody gets their vouchers for both last week and this week. Yes, callers are still getting their vouchers for a call in our 080-509-20927 or 080-250-27711 or 080-297-88003. We have another call. Hello. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Musa calling from Lekki.
Okay, hello, Mr. Musa, calling from Lekki.
Okay.
How do you want to join today's conversation?
Please, the topic I wanted to talk about is a little outside your scope for today.
Okay.
But somebody brought it up and it piqued my attention. This thing about PFOs.
Yes.
I have property in Ebuji Lekki.
Okay.
Which of course I bought from the Omaniles and things.
Mm-hmm.
And I started the process of getting documents for this said land.
Mm-hmm.
I got as far as governor's consent, and then was told that the governor has put a freeze on giving you the actual PFO.
Yes.
And with my experience, I know government consent, anything can still happen. They can come and revoke it and all that. And I'm afraid to invest on the property. I don't know if is there any advice I can get.
Okay.
On this situation.
Okay. Thank you very much for your call and your question, Mr. And yes, as someone had mentioned on the show, the issue with CFO, which is actually one of the most critical documents for land and property ownership in Nigeria, especially in Lagos. It's a process that does take time. And we do have another call. We are addressing the question anyways. Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
Yeah, you have Onyebuchi speaking.
Onyebuchi, from where?
Yeah, from Ajegune right now.
Okay.
I'm going towards my queue.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is your question and how are you joining the conversation today?
Now, I want to ask these people that are demolishing buildings.
Yes.
Where we are there when these buildings are being erected?
These
people have CFOs.
Yes.
Who issued them those CFOs? Is it that these buildings that have been demolished, that though some of their officials didn't come for introspection or check to be sure that these buildings are not
being erected in the first place?
Exactly. So it's a failure on the part of the government. Where are they where these buildings are being erected?
Yes.
Could it target as being corrupt practices or someone somewhere collecting money from somebody and turning a blind eye?
No. Some of these properties were approved long before this particular government that we have in place. And you know that we have a cycle, right, where a government come in, another group come in, another set come in, they are elected and all that, and their policies change. And their policies change. However, a lot of the plans that are in place now have been in place for a long time. Just like one of the callers mentioned that, they said, they're going to be a railway in one place. However, the railway project has not happened.
All these things should have been mapped out long ago. At least that's one before you even build a they would have shown you the map. So before you even pay for anything, you should see. At this point, there is a railway that is going to come
in that area.
So it's a failure on the side of the government. That's just my institution.
Thank you very much, Onyebuchi from Ajegule. Yes, there are actual plans in place, and if you look into public information, you can actually access the plans for your area. Especially if you reach out to your local government or you ask questions, you can get some of the plans for the place, the town planning plan for the place, for the area that you stay in. And some people are not even aware, like Lagos State, this Lagos Island, where the beach is, the road where the newly demolished, that's the coastal road.
Yeah,
right?
Calabar Coastal Road. Lagos Calabar Coastal Road.
Yes, that plan has actually been in place for a very long time.
But how does a common man, find out this information?
These information are actually available online.
Does it cost
you? And then sometimes if you go to Lagos State housing and you make inquiries, you can get information on the plan for your area.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Was it going to cost you a lot? Because again, that's another thing that the common man would look at, cost.
Cost and time. As one of our callers had called in, he had said, when his process for his CFO has been taking a long time, and then the government had paused approvals for some areas, and that's even discouraging him from investing in that area.
Exactly.
Yes, I agree that time, which is one of the things a lot of people keep raising, and we should keep on raising it. Time to process things needs to be made faster.
Exactly.
And it is unfortunate that sometimes we suspect nobody is saying anything. That's that these processes are slowed down because of the benefits that some people get, because they know that if it's slowed down, somebody else is more incentivized to want to pay or pay extra to get their
for the process to be sped up.
For the process to be sped up. And that's why some things are so slow that when you now have to we've lost that call.
Yeah.
That when you now have to get your documents, you're like, wow, what is, this is so slow and this is so tedious. Then to make it move faster, you have to go through.
That way.
It's more frustrating. You have to now go through the K-leg side, which we all
the K-leg side.
It's the K-leg side now, which we don't want to we don't want to talk about, but it actually exists.
So, but the cost of a common, like if I wanted to go to a certain area,
yes,
and rent an apartment, you said I can get access to information about that area,
yes,
online.
Yes. And
how do people do that?
And you can get that from the Lagos State housing system. If you go to Alausa, you can actually inquire about areas and say, okay, this area, or I want to move into this area, or you just want to ask about. Yes, there's a certain amount of money that you have to pay to extract. It's kind of like when you are doing company registration. There's a stipend that you have to pay to get details, and then there's some information that's actually available.
Is it really a stipend?
Hello, good morning. This is Real Estate Matters. I am your host, King Ray Realtor. Who am I speaking with?
Yeah, speaking with Osai Oronsai.
Okay.
Water.
Okay.
Ma, I have two questions.
Okay.
The first one is on this topic for today. It says they're asking for money for demolition. I'm the one supposed to pay. And why are they just demolishing? You said the new government comes. Don't they have a plan that the government approves 10, 20 or 50 years before and it still stands? That's the first question. Second question is this fee of old thing.
Yes.
It takes so long. Man.
It does.
It takes so long. I applied for fee of how many months ago? Till now, they're telling me it takes long. I have to wait for the governor to sign. What can be done about these two things? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Osai from Ota. Okay, so this issue with C of O taking long, this is all our problems. Even those of us in the real estate space, we understand that it's a problem that we are all trying to find a way around.
But
and
typically, how long will it take for you to get your C of O? Typically, from start to finish, from the start of the process.
There's no typical.
But
You cannot say, oh, this is what it takes typically. All right.
You just have to wait until the government decides that they want to send you C of O.
You just have to wait, because at the end of the day, the land technically belongs to the government, and then they are giving you that certificate.
But for 100 years, right? We did agree on. We did have
yes, when you get it for 99
years.
Yes, you get it for your 99 years. All right, and then it's up to you then to try your best to renew it, in due time. It does take time. It can be very tedious. You go through the filing process, and you just wait it out. Okay, I don't advise anybody to explore the alternative route, because I feel like.
So, do you think that some people expedite it, like they hasten things up? They talk to. So, why does things have to be like that in Nigeria?
I mean, I'm not. I might be corruption. We don't know why it is like that in Nigeria, and we are all the part of the problem.
True.
We are because some of us enable the problem. Some of us benefit mildly from the problem. Some of us turn the blind eye, right? And some of us, as much as we talk about it and we speak about it, when it now comes to your turn, when you say, okay, it's your turn now, what do you have to do?
That this reminds
now see
me
that they are also the problem.
Yeah, this reminds me of a particular conversation around, I think survey. Yes, your registered survey plan, because we know that the government is obviously doing something. There's a blueprint of how Lagos should be or Nigeria should be, and you're going out to go and purchase. But do you think they shift the goalposts every single time? Because if this building has been said to be
demolished,
to be open for people to purchase, and then the government just comes one day and say, oh, I think we need to build a bridge that will just go from left to right and then the corner, and then you're like, okay, my house is there, what then do I do?
Okay, yes, plans change, but as I said, a lot of these plans, the town planning, they already exist. Right. And if you ask, when you see the changes, they're usually very soft or minor changes. Like I think with the coastal road, there was a way it was meant to curve, and then some houses now
got demolished,
and then there was a way it wasn't supposed. And the government had to address it and say, okay, how best can we move this now that all these people have erected structures in these places, and then there were minor adjustments in that.
Minor,
yes. Trust me,
somebody lost his entire business there.
Yes, but then there could have been a lot more losses. With the way that panned out,
yes,
the way that panned out, and at the end of the day, it's often about how do you say the frying pan or the fire.
And
It's
you
also
also mentioned
about
something.
choosing between two hard decisions or several hard decisions, and some of these officials, there's also the fact that corruption is also involved.
I was just about to
All
say
right?
that, because
So-
when you go to the office of the surveyor, I don't want to believe that there are back routes that somebody can help you expedite your plan or say, okay, you know what, let's just give them approval, and then you just go build your structure without getting proper approval and authorization to build on that property, and then you finally build on it, and they
then
come and
afterwards,
demolish because
you
that's
know,
not supposed to be
because
part of
that's
the
not
plan.
exactly. And sometimes Nigerians can also be very that's why I said a lot of us are part of the problem.
Yes.
We're part of the problem in the sense that there are some times that you go and you make inquiries and you see that, oh, there's a plan for a park to be here, and you're wondering what everybody's here, we they build it, everybody's laughing,
And then the day that they
and then
decide
you
to
now be
build
like,
it,
don't worry, let's go about it, this is not
demolish
going
your
to
house.
happen in until 10-20 years or this, and then you go about and say, okay, if it's possible, is it possible, it's possible, and then you insist that you want it to happen, and then it happens. So then years later, these things come around and affect the people who have unfortunately maybe purchased from you and built on the same space. All right.
They can't call you to order because
you'll
be like, it's the government, I see me.
And
it's not nice.
sometimes the person that even sold to you has passed on. Sometimes you can't even the process has gone through several processes. You know, they've sold to one company. The company has built an estate on it and sold to you. You know, that whole process, and then you're thinking, okay, but as I said, doing your homework is still the foundation. It's still the more important part on it. So now I know we're talking about the Oroshaki thing, which is something that all of us have to. Okay, we have another caller. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Femi.
Hello, Femi. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Ikorodu.
Okay.
Yeah. Yesterday I was putting my card, but I didn't receive it.
Oh no, it was sent to you, Mr. Femi. It was sent to you. I have
Me?
Yes, it was. It was sent to the number that you provided.
You see my MTN thing, my MTN account, because I didn't get any SMS.
Okay, Mr. Femi, give us a few seconds. I'll address that because that payment was made yesterday. All payments were made yesterday. All of it. I made sure to do it before I left the office.
And those who did not receive their payments, just
it's a different one. It's from yesterday. Yeah, Mr. Femi is from yesterday. It's not from Real Estate Matters. But thank you so much, Mr. Femi. Please check. I made sure to do all the payments before I left the office. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Okay. We have some callers that have been calling, say they did not get their airtime and all that.
That's from last week, Real Estate Matters. Yes. So we're going to give out the number for
that
one.
We'll follow up on those who did not get last week. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Calling back, ma.
Your name? I didn't get your name and where you're calling from.
Antonia from Ojo.
Okay, hello, back. Antonia from Ojo.
Please, ma, I would like to ask one important question.
Yes.
Like where I reside now, where I live, that I'm planning to move out.
Okay.
By God's grace next year.
Okay.
So for 2 years, I've not been given a bit of renewal of the house rent.
Okay.
But I have my copy.
What do you mean by you've not been given your renewal of house rent? What do you mean by that?
The receipt.
Oh, yes, that as you've been paying your rent, you've not been getting receipt from the landowner.
Landlord, yes. But
okay.
I have my copies of payments from the bank, photocopied and kept.
Okay.
So now that they are saying they are no longer interested in me staying there, I said they should go get the quit letter. And I will need the receipt of those payments at the same time. Please, how do I go about it? Because anytime I ask them, they will tell me I should hold on.
What was your agreement with the property owner from the onset?
No, the first time I paid, I was given, but it took few weeks before I paid.
And subsequently, so now, you were following up with them to get your approvals. Yeah. To get your receipts? No?
Yeah.
Okay. considering you've been following up with them, have you had an agent or a realtor or a legal person involved with you on this agreement?
I don't have any legal person. But
okay.
I don't have any legal person.
Okay.
But I hope in God, because the threat is just too much. The threat is too much. I told them they should go and get it letter and stop threatening me up. I don't like.
Well, the property owner, there are certain policies that protect you as a tenant within your property, within the property. All right. The property owner is not. They are not legally. They cannot legally threaten you.
He was telling me few days ago that even if I would stay 6 months, that they used to give occupant that pay yearly. That I will pay for that 6 months. I said, who does that? Where does that happen? You know, it was just a long story, but I thank God for this segment on Super.
Thank you very much, Antonia. So the issue with your property owner, I think this is something that, first of all, if it's in your agreement, you should escalate and get a legal consultant to help you out with it. All right. And yes, they should have given you proper notification. They should give you proper notification, and they cannot, on any basis, without proper notification, evict you with force from where you stay. They have to go through the due process, all right, which is to give you proper notice and then to handle it legally, all right. That's if you are not owing and you have your receipt to show that you have paid them up until when they now said they don't want you in the property, all right. Okay. One of the questions that was asked about the plans for Roshoki, all right. We just say
it's a Roshoki plan. I just hope, and it's how the plan is not everywhere. Do you understand? You know how you demolish a particular location and you want to do something there, but what exactly do you want to do?
I mean, the way it's been
why is it hush hush?
It's not really hush hush. I mean, they've said it several instances where they said it's supposed to be urban renewal. It's supposed to be a how do I phrase it now? Modernization of the space. That's pretty much modernization. So there will be some new structures that will be put into place. You know, the actual plans of having green area, having better roads. They're going to put all of that in place. But that is the plan. I mean, as of right now, you know, there's always the plan and then what actually does happen. All right. Yes, it's important that it's important that we need to draw the attention of the government, that they should be more sensitive to the people. At the end of the day, yes, we want a beautiful looking Lagos, but we also want something that fits our pockets. We also want something that fits our reality. You know, growth does happen, development does happen when old structures might be pulled down and then new things are established. Okay, but there's a lot of
but that is like sending some people off the market because they don't have that structure anymore.
And you find that in other parts of the world, even for buildings that are old, thousands of years old, 400 years, 500 years old, what they do is, for some of those buildings, they create alternatives for the residents in those places.
Right.
Before they then ask them to move from this place. So they have what they call it, the common, the free or government provided accommodation that they can then move into, and then the tenants or the residents of certain areas can then be asked to leave. And sometimes just finding a way to restructure or reinforce buildings, which is where engineers and architects can be employed in that regard. Because if you find new ways to reinforce buildings, I don't know if you were talking about how there was a conference in Panama last week, and one of the things that they had shown was a 500-year-old structure, right, that had been in existence for a long time, and then what the government had done was they had reinforced the already existing structure. All right, so the people who were staying there were moved to somewhere else. They reinforced the buildings by holding up some of the pillars, pulling down some of the places.
Because you cannot compare buildings that you had that long.
And then by the time they were done, they showed the old and the new, and it was they had put in electricity in some of them, because some of them did not have water or any of those things, and those things had been put into the building, plastered afresh, and it looked beautiful, like a beautiful masterpiece. And then it was then part of the history and the story of the place. And by the time they were done talking about, this used to be where the colonial masters or this used to stay in, it was a very exciting story, and it's something that helped even build patriotism of some of the residents of the place, because it felt like, my forefathers and my fathers stayed in this area, and now I'm a part of it. We have another caller. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Okay, my name is Auri. I'm calling from Ogun State.
Hello, Auri from Ogun State. Today's topic, how are you joining our conversation today?
Okay, you were talking about Oworo, right?
Yes.
I've not been to Oworo before, but
yes.
I want to take a clue from what I saw recently on my way to AIT. By the way, I used to work in AIT.
Okay.
And in those days when we were going to work, the pylons, the electrical line across along the road.
Yes.
We used to see a few makeshift things there. They were so makeshift, like a organizer and all of that. But recently, I went there and I saw that the bulldozers are taking down real structures right along the pylons under the electrical line. And I begin to imagine that we would have deviated from one government rule or plan or the other. So when they say that they offered them a chance to redeem their buildings by paying 1 million, I believe that is just gaslighting. Because if government has ordered a bring down,
yes,
no government officials has that
can change that
authority. So if they give their 1 million, they're just going to give it as a bribe, and it's going to go down the drain. Because these are policy destructions going on. And not targeted at anyone. They are policy destruction. People are building under pylons. People are building in where waterways are supposed to pass, where canals are where water is supposed to escape from. Places that are left for reservations and all sorts of things have been pushed on. So I will often blame government, but on this occasion, after saying that's what they have done there, I really think that the people have a share in the blame. This idea of, so it's not going to happen. And then when it happens, they start calling the media into it, going on social media, and then it seems as if the government is evil.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. It's true they've been paying bribes maybe to one local government or the other, but these are state-approved demolitions going on. And we just have to face up to reality.
Yes.
That's my take.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And you see that there are some people who think or understand that that the demolition has to happen. I mean, I believe there's supposed to be a ferry in that area. That's going to be. I
think I did hear that as well. Those that commute via water from Yanoworo, to maybe Ajah or something.
Exactly.
So waterways, majorly.
Yes. So some of these things are actual solutions that we want. It's now just the issue. The issue, honestly, is about how it's being enforced. I think that's where it rubs off on Lagosians, and also I think we also might want to hear from the government official side, because I know that they might also have been sending notifications, and then people will just ignore it and brush it aside. That does happen, because where how people get noticed, they get they are told to move this. Somebody else will say, what can we do, and then they will go and then what's the word, they want to go and beg. You say, let's go and beg him, let's go and talk to him. Meanwhile, there's already an existing plan that has to happen, right? And because of because the plan already is already in place, it's now something that is more of a delay of the inevitable, right? Where people think you can talk to somebody, you can plead with someone, you can get this from something, and that's also a part of our culture, because we do have that whole culture of who can you.
Like, what can you do for us?
Yes.
Now that they want to come and demolish.
Now that you stated the
problem,
existing plan.
so what can you do for us?
Exactly.
That should not be the reply. And like you said, it is us making it an issue with us.
Yes. We are all a part. We are often all complacent in one way or the other, and then a part of the problem, and where we can also be a part of the solution.
Right.
So I don't want to point fingers, because some people, there's money involved, and some people are actually blindsided. Some
honest, that's
some
actually
people
the
are
truth.
blindsided. Some property owners have been aware about the demolition having.
That they had said that the demolition was going to happen about a year ago, and they had given them 1 year extra to actually sort themselves out. But because some people may have had conversations with some of these individuals in these ministries and paid them, because to be honest, and if we're going to talk about all of these people that have actually done these payments, they exist.
I know they exist. So it's a very, very dicey situation of what the government plans to do, and sometimes putting a face to certain things, right? Let me create a scenario for you, whereby, let's say, Baba Joy now, he's in the government, right? And he knows you, that you live in that place. By the time you go and meet him, or maybe you're from his church, you go and meet him, you beg him, you talk to him, he says, okay, you know what?
I think I can do something for you.
I think I can
Bring
do something.
2 million. Bring 2 million.
Let me see who I can give this 2 million to.
And he will just keep the money in his pocket.
Even if you know someone he can give it to, the person that is giving it to knows that he doesn't really have that kind of power to stop a system that is going to happen. Because, growth and development will happen in Lagos. I mean, it's growth, and we're a developing country, so growth and development is inevitable.
And that is why you need to do your due diligence and do right by yourself, to ask the right questions. Do they have C of O? Is this building, is it going to be in a few years that the government said they want to come and collect it from me? Let me know.
What is the plan for this area? Is this place supposed to be a road? Is it supposed to be a garden? Is it supposed to be a park? Because there are places that are supposed to be parks.
Yes.
We don't know that. It looks like everywhere you just see houses. In the plans, you see sometimes you see some of these plans and you're like, oh, you guys have a park? Is a plan for this?
You see, the cutting corners has been a Nigerian thing for the longest time. Because they said, it won't happen now. Corners. No, they cut corners.
What we call it is, Nigerians are very tenacious. No, that's the word.
It's not tenacity.
We will insist.
I don't think it's tenacity.
We've seen situations where we insist on things, and there are some Nigerians that, in fact, you're saying no is exciting to them. They want to prove you wrong, and they will find and go out of their way.
And when they go to the day, and then when they now go out, I will just be looking at you like, oh, you wanted this to happen. No problem. Now that you have made it happen, 2-3 years down the line, the government is going, I want to take over this. You come and meet me and say, sorry, sir. You said, I told you no. You say yes, and I gave it to you. How do you want it?
Yeah, we shouldn't be laughing at this, because there are millions that have gone into these issues, and it backfires on us, and then we turn and say, oh, what can the government do? And then the government on their own too, sometimes they just go about it very brash, like, okay, everybody move here. I don't think we've told you several times, we've told you since last year. And then it's like, okay, so how do we then find the balance? What is the balance? How do we put in our culture of being insistent on, we want this, some people can be stubborn, and then apply it to, we need this?
I'm more offended by the landlords that didn't even speak to their tenants about receiving that.
And some landlords collected rent.
Yes,
some landlords collected
for that 1 year. They even gave the houses out from the beginning of the year before.
From the year before.
So if it's not wickedness, I don't know what is.
It is. It's selfishness. It's the height of it. And
greed.
It's greed. It's the height of it.
It's greed.
So yes. So it's something that a lot of us have had to figure out how to maneuver. All right, it's a reality that a lot of us have had to figure out how to maneuver, and somehow, in one way or the other, growth and development will happen. What we should think about, and what we should speak to our local government officials about, is that when these developments and when the new structures are established, how affordable is it going to be? How accessible is it going to be for all of us? All right. Before we wrap up on today's show, we're just going to touch base on one of our existing.
I mean, time is fast spent, to be honest.
Yes.
The news comes up next.
We'll wrap up.
Can we give the number to those who would like to? I mean, of course,
to retrieve your airtime, right?
Yes.
I believe the number is
Maybe send a WhatsApp message to 0705 69
and your message will be responded to with the number that you should call. Oh, the number you should call is 08027351727.
One more time.
08027351727. Text that number for your voucher.
All right, and Mr. Femi, please confirm that you received your airtime from yesterday. I want to see a confirmation. Please send a WhatsApp message. I would really like that. Thank you very much.
This has been Real Estate Matters, and I have been your host, King Ray Realtor. Until next week, Wednesday, have an amazing week.